Okay, we're rolling here a little bit. I should get this a little bit larger here yet. Okay, there we go. Oh, the plug-in on the phone is in the way. Yes, okay. It's June 4th here, 2025. Yeah, I'm going through all of Jacob's rapture dream, da-da-da-da. No, 4 months left. Trumpet feast. Yeah, September 23rd, I think. I looked it up. 2025. There's my phone number. Put it right up there. I got baptized the other day again. How many times did Solomon get baptized? Answer? Every time he got married. It's lots of times. We got this idea just once, even as an infant. Where do we get all this stuff? It's not our salvation. Jesus, Yeshua, is our salvation. That wasn't a bird that came on Jesus. And where we really mess it up on this rapture business is, I always go back to this, and the graves were open, and many of the bodies of saints which slept arose and came out of this after his resurrection. Okay, get the spoon out of the way. Matthew 27, 52 and 53. Most of them try to explain it away. Okay? Here, this fella here had some good stuff, interesting stuff. But now, I watch some of this Rock Island stuff. Now he's into some other non-canonical book. Why? God might have some interesting stuff in it to justify their positions. This is what they're straining at straws. Swallow camels because they don't want to deal with this. And they're pre-tribs. Tell that to the person that, lost half their family in some conflict already. In Congo or Nigeria. Yeah, I have lots of other friends from other countries. North Americans? Canadians? It's their comfort zone. They just tune it out. There's my number. Calgary, Alberta. Go through this. I need to get the whiteboard. Yeah, should do that maybe today. But if I go out, I won't get anything done.
We're going to talk about that. We're going to show you. Sometimes a picture says 1,000 words, or whatever it is, whatever that phrase is.
Go back here a little bit.
Well grounded on all this
Feast
stuff.
of Weeks, Feast of Weeks, blah, 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 on and on.
Filming of Genesis 38.
It goes on and on.
There's actually more that
he's so consistent, though. Boy.
All in Genesis 38.
What's the guy's name? I don't think he's even around anymore. Koinonia Ministry had this idea that the rapture's on the Feast of Weeks, Pentecost. Well, I don't know. The Hebrew group last week had their function Pentecost, based on the Passover time. Is this fella from the time of the Easter bunnies? Okay.
Wait to the very end. I'm going to just line.
I pray for these people. But what they're going to cause when it doesn't happen, they're going to be more scoffers and mockers than ever. Okay? The thing with the baptism, I just did it myself, and he confirmed it to me after I stepped out in faith. Philip didn't ask anybody. He didn't have to go back and ask the rest of the gang if he should baptize the eunuch. The eunuch probably even knew. He even said, here's water. Can I not be baptized probably knew it already or had it already done. He didn't ask questions. He just did it. What's with them? Got to go ask some pope? They're so ecumenical or what? This is what they're lapsing into. Okay? This guy, he denied it coming back from Ottawa that he was an ecumenical function. He's online. He hardly even talks to me. I happened to see him in the washroom. I asked the fellow from Lethbridge. I thought maybe he would do it. He didn't want to do it either. The other assistant guy, he watched me. I asked him to do it. He wouldn't do it. I just went in the water by myself. Okay, after everybody. There are a few that had done it. Why? It's happening down in the U.S. 1,400 in Oklahoma. Okay. Are Canadians so weak that we can't step out and do something on our own? I guess so. You know, until somebody else does it.
Two letters. We're going to talk about that.
On and on and on. I can go one after an earthquake getting bigger. Lots of earthquakes. Lots of volcanoes going off. I looked up. It affects our Canadian weather. That's why it's so dry up north. I was just going to make a short one here and put it, I don't know how many minutes even for the short ones, but I get talking about stuff. So we're off and running. How many minutes now? We got 6 minutes. Mount Etna in Mediterranean's going up. Here's another one with his Pentecost thing. No, the menorah has 7 candles. Oh, guess what? I put my wife's Hanukkah. I said, I don't want it in the room. She hid it back there. She got herself a 7-candle menorah. No, the Hanukkah, it's not in the Bible. Sorry. The Star of David, that's really questionable. Okay? Should be the fig tree. And has how many harvests? I asked the guy from Lethbridge. Him and his wife are Jewish. They got kicked out of Israel for evangelizing. Then he turns around, kind of a slap on my face. He says, "El, how come you're not a pastor by now?" I looked at him and says, "You know I'm not called to be a pastor." Yeah, his brother and him, somebody else went across kitty corner to the coffee shop, Tim Hortons. I found out from the old fellow there, they didn't do a very good job of it. Okay? We weren't in Lethbridge anymore much. We went back to Calgary, moving around. We have to go move here again now. And maybe a bigger place. Maybe we can actually do something there too. Need to have somebody share the rent. It's going to be expensive for us. Okay, wife's concerned about that. I am too, a little bit. But Lord knows. Anyway, he's having his brother and somebody else at kitty corner. I saw the older fella there I talked to. He came across a few times, other people, while they're doing their Hebrew functions, reading Hebrew and everything else. So I'd go across kitty corner. The guy asked me, what does a dietary thing got to do with love waxing cold? I looked at him and says, absolutely nothing. He remarked, good answer. And we discussed it. Yeah, it doesn't have anything to do with it, does it? Yeah. It's covetousness that causes the love to wax cold. Matthew 24:12. We're in Matthew there. We want to look it up? Okay, we'll look it up. Okay? Get the computer out of the way here a little bit. Get cups and stuff in the way. This place is too small for doing anything, much of anything. We got troubles here with this place ever since we moved in here. We were supposed to put a deck on so we could barbecue outside. No, nothing gets done that way. any problem in the house. We come home from a function, my wife has to find the plunger to unplug the sink. Nobody else can do this. Okay? And of course it's Canadian that caused the sink to get plugged. Oh, really? The sink was plugged when we moved in here. Okay? Matthew 24:12. Here we go. We got it underlined in this one. Okay. And false prophets. Oh, where's that? Well, that might be somebody else that doesn't agree with us, right? Hey, they twisted things around. Half a truth, no such thing. Just more deceptive. As shall deceive many, and because of iniquity. See, most versions take that out. And it's what? The laws of the land? No. Referring to his ways, which are higher than our ways. And we do it knowingly and willfully. He set us free to walk in his ways. Yeah, go back to that. Page flips over. Excuse me here. I should have, I guess, breeze the furnace cut in here. It's only 10 degrees in Calgary, Alberta this morning. Warming up. It was down to 7 or something. It's cloudy and rainy. And because of iniquity, knowingly and willfully, and the love of many shall wax cold. How does wax in a candle turn cold? It's gone too far away from the flame, or the flame has gone out. It's talking about covetousness. See, they read further, abomination, desolation. Okay? Hey, you transgress his written word, that is an abomination. Covetousness is the 10th commandment. Okay? It's not a dietary issue on a future third temple. Yeah, Zechariah chapter 6, branch. Who's the branch? We can go around and around and around on this stuff. So what are they teaching? Oh, everything's in the future yet. No. Pentecost happened. Let's get with the program. Feast of Trumpets coming up September 23rd, 2025. So I hope people get the message. Don't be listening to everything around. They're plucking at straws, trying to justify their pre-trib. The guy from Lethbridge even said he was mid-trib. A lot of them go, when they're around the Jewish Association, they go to post-trib. A lot of them call it pan-trib, meaning I don't want to discuss it. I don't want controversy, and on and on and on. Yeah, it's so lukewarm. And he warns about lukewarm. Matthew 22, see, warns about many are called, but few are chosen. Why don't we get this through our heads? We're not all gonna float off to Never Never Land. See, the post-tribbers and the other ones that don't believe that, they kind of scoff at the whole idea too, like call it escapism. Well, a lot of ways it is, because like people are being slaughtered in Congo and other places with just a little border dispute. Gaza, hey, Mr. American, you're the ones that voted and forced Ariel Sharon. Yeah, 8-year coma. Isaiah 29. Okay. Outer darkness. Here we go. Many are called, but few are chosen. Enoch was in the first 1,000 years. Psalms 90. Every 1,000. Verse 10. We fly away. Don't believe everything. There's doubters, all kinds of doubters and scoffers and mockers. But gee, when I showed the young guy that Zechariah chapter 5, here, you want to read it? Lift it up, a roll, scroll. Well, that sounds reasonable. something lightweight flying through the air. That happens to be 20 cubits length, I believe, and circumference of 10 cubits. Just happens to be the size of the missiles on the submarine in New York Harbor. That's a museum piece. What? Yeah, he put it right in front of my eyes. This was a talented lead lifted up. Talent is a big number. Lead, we know, is heavy. Okay. From Shinner, Iran. Guy says, well, that was written, how is it possible? It was written hundreds of years ago. I says, 2,500 years ago. Hey, I saw him the other day at the soup kitchen. Hey, he's still got issues, but he's like, wow, it's real. Yeah, it's real. It says despise not prophecy. But do people want to teach it? Do people want to read it? They weren't taught it in seminary. The guy was still in diapers when I was in seminary. And I had to walk away from some of the stuff they're teaching. Psychology? Huh, that's a form of godliness, denying the power. Read Dave Hunt's books, Seduction of Christianity and Beyond Seduction. They don't want to read it. It was in the Lutheran little library, but nobody reads it. Yeah. The pastors are subjected to their board members. The one board member doesn't even believe Elijah went to the third heaven. Like what? He tries, but they don't want to leave this yet. Come out from among her, and those that don't want to continue coming out, it says come out from among them. But no, they don't want to baptize anybody else a second or third, fourth. This is actually my fourth time. Yeah, and I'm being alive. I just got my battery charged up again. Okay, like our redemption draweth near. Okay. Watchman River, pray for you. You got problems down there. Cortez. That guy doesn't. He's not even in the same states. Okay? What are you worried about? But he's always... Yeah, they're pre-trib. Okay? Get with the program. That happened. 1st century A.D. The resurrection of many. That happens to be on the Hebrew High Holy Day called the First Fruits. See, you think you can hold to your Easter bunnies, Good Friday supposedly, and no, that's really debatable about Sunday resurrection. I don't believe it. He resurrected on the day called First Fruits. There was 2 Sabbaths that week, Mr. Adventist. But you pat yourself about a particular 7th day, Saturday. Are you really a Sabbath keeper? Then learn that the high annual Sabbaths. The word Sabbath means rest day in Hebrew. Am I a little sarcastic this morning? I guess so. Okay. Revelation 7. There we go. We are the great multitude. 12 times 12 is 144. Okay? Every 1,000 years. See, we got taught this. He only came once as a little babe in the manger. Well, who walked with Adam and Eve in the garden? Okay? Who was the one that came? Psalm 68. How many chariots? 20,000 angels with him. And who else? The Lord was with him. Psalm 68. Here we go. First fruits unto God. This is Revelation 14, verse 4. Go in your Bibles. Read it. Read it. They're not going to preach it to you. Most of them don't. Why? What do they tell you? Bring another donation. Get your tax deduction. They don't do that in Nigeria. I was there the other day. I laughed. He says, I don't want any Nigerians. I said, What? You're Nigerian. I said, yeah, I have enough trouble with the Filipinos. His wife is Filipino. He wants to do some renovation in his place. He probably knows he can get some government money. They're going to pay him $10,000 if he makes legal suites. So upstairs, his daughters are going to school. One's in BC now. He had a little dent on his truck. He couldn't back up his little camper trailer. Yeah, well, I should maybe help him with that too. Okay. But I told him a few things he could do to help back up the camper trailer. His backup camera wasn't working. On and on and on. Okay. Yeah, all this high-tech stuff, half time it doesn't work. Okay. I had something about the Julian calendar. Okay, I believe the Adventists they're trying to justify the 1844. Just admit it. You're human. You made a mistake. Carry on. Hey, how do you learn how to walk? There's about the Pope. Guy asked me that. I just read this. I said, hey, we're all going to be resurrected. Some sooner, some later. Some after the 1,000 years. Some to everlasting life, and some to shame and everlasting contempt. Okay? The dead know not anything. We're consumed. A lot what we're being taught is Canaanite. We don't really die. Really? They're in the grave until the resurrection. And then they got Lazarus. Yeah, he resurrected. Some don't want to believe that. And then of course he died again. The guy from, where was he from? Some African country. Like, some of these countries, Nigeria has 5 times the population of all of Canada. California has as much population as all of Canada. My stepson's in San Diego. He had the math from the Philippines. Canadians are flunking their math in the higher grades, taking the tutoring. So was he so great? I don't know. But he's down there. Now it's all ending because things have changed big time. Go from one extreme to the next. Just when they're starting to come out with better batteries, sodium now or something, and solid state is going to be a lot better for in the cold, I believe. Safer. But, these other batteries, they freeze. Good luck. You cook your battery. Yeah. And we need heat. I told the guy that he's got a new Tesla now, probably better battery. He was scared to go out of town a little bit because it's cold. Well, get her battery heated socks and jacket. I do. Helps my legs, my feet in the wintertime. Anyway, volcanoes going off around the world. The Mexican volcano. What causes hurricanes? The volcanoes in the ocean off the coast of Nigeria. Are we taught this? No. How many minutes now? We got 23 minutes here. He's still cooking. I thought maybe I had to erase some. Okay. See this one here could be where he gets into the book of.
This video will lay out to the best of my ability the basic architecture of the 7,000-year sabbatical calendar that is the foundation of the earliest eschatology that was clearly both transmitted and understood by the earliest students of the scripture, most of the pre-first century Hebrew rabbis, the apostles of Yeshua, notably Peter and
Bartholomew, I think,
and many of the most prominent early church fathers. As evidence of this, let me share an excerpt lifted from the pages of an epistle written by Barnabas in the middle of the 1st century. The epistle of Barnabas, that was actually written by the Barnabas, who was the same person that ministered and encouraged the Apostle Paul, co-labored with Paul on both his first missionary journey and in Antioch, where the followers of Yeshua were first called Christians. This is the Barnabas that sold his possessions and laid them at the feet of the Apostle Peter, is recorded.
Okay, so it goes on. And then he gives a warning. Not the one book of Barnabas, but this one's okay. Pardon? You can't justify what you're teaching on the scriptures that we do have. You got to start reading. And this other guy has a foundation class, Joel Richardson. The book of Enoch. No. He warns, and then he uses it for others not to. You have to discern. But he's able to discern. Do you see what these people are doing? Warning other people, but then they use what they want to teach what they want. Just admit it, you're wrong. And carry on. You made a mistake. Drop my cup. Good thing it was empty. Okay. Too much crowded here. You know, Mr. Richardson, go sell your... Isn't that what Jesus said to the rich ruler? He thought he'd done all things right. He said, go sell what you have. But see, they don't want to do that. Hey, I walked away from everything several times in my life. Yeah. And the Lord blessed me and healed me, delivered me. And just because you got healed once as an infant doesn't mean we're mortals. Yeah, see, he warns about this stuff, then he goes on and uses it himself. What? I was at City Hall yesterday. I was down there. Yeah, a bunch of kids around, tours around, talked to a few people. I saw stuff I made when I was 14 years old. New. It's not new. Okay? The one guy's into vertical farming. I said, did you know they're going broke in New York with this? He didn't know nothing about it. I says, well, maybe you should learn a little bit before you come here and teach the kids, huh? It's too expensive. So you go an hour outside the city. You process things in town. We can do stuff. This is part of my problem. I get caught up. It's only 4 months away. So do I phone the trucking guy and we go out and I spend time. Yeah, we can talk about different things, and we're trying to do things to make hybrid tow trucks. Yeah. 4 months left. Okay? No, it's not going to happen here. Do you hear what I'm saying? So don't be so alarmed. Then these guys teaching whatever. Last fall, I learned Israel was 77 in May this year. Then I learned Jacob was 77 years old, married Leah. Then I learned the fig tree has 3 harvests in an optimal year. They line up with the feast times. Yes, Feast of Weeks already happened. That's Pentecost. The resurrection of many. I rocked Jehovah's Witnesses' little bubble. It already happened. Took the juice at their memorial function. Yeah, it's a memorial because they don't have him resurrected or what? It's a celebration after he resurrected. They didn't know what to do until 3 days later. Then the centurion was totally shocked. Why? You see people coming out of the graves, walking up the hill? People tried to discredit it. They rolled out of the graves and they rolled up the hill. Yeah, really. One guy down in Utah, They're trying to work with the Mormons. I'm going to go see my Mormon friend. His only son got born when he sees the miracle in front of his eyes every day. Okay? I'm going to talk to him about getting baptized again. Yeah. The power of God. You know, they're all baptizing into their own little groups. Okay? Most of them don't even say you should be baptized as an adult now. They wouldn't want to offend Romanism. That's Canaanite teaching. Come out of it. Okay? We're mortals until we're resurrected. But guy yesterday from African country says, yeah, well, Lazarus died. I says, you won't find it in the Bible. How come he left from Bethany? See, what are they teaching? I know, it's kind of comical, actually. But he's a music teacher. Well, stick to your knitting then. Okay? No, I'm not called to be a pastor either. Where's the evangelists? Hey, we're out doing things. How come the colony near Lloydminster is no longer associated with other colonies? Fort Pitt, it's called. They got some stuff online. Hey, some of them start learning about the Passover and they're kicked out. And some colonies change the whole thing. But what? It says walk in the light. Go ahead. Forward. Acts 16:11. Guy's got a good teaching. Truth for Christ, I think, or something. Acts 16:11. But no, they're stuck in pre-trib. Come on. Let's get the whistle. Chuck Messler. That's the rapture day and the 7 feasts. Here it is. Unreal. Hey, I listened to him some, and I saw this one, I was like, what?
Prophecy in the Bible, uttered by a prophet.
But see, it really fits into their pre-trib. Everything's going to be wonderful until we float off. Really? Tell that to people going war-torn zones. And Israel, too. You put the food right outside the fence? Mocking? What? Then they blame the soldiers for not being there on a holiday? I knew it was a deadly game they're playing. But no, the rabbi, we're supposed to follow him. They got caught the day it started. I told my wife, she was working there yesterday as accountant. Accountants are nice and orderly people. I am not. I admit it. I got too many things on the go. But here, I have to focus on this. This is going to happen. I believe that is the time. This fall. 2 years ago, I said, no, the solar eclipse comes first. And I get more and more confirmations. Just like when I got out of the water, my wife wanted me, the clouds separated, the sun came out. I've seen this happen before. It happened down in Oklahoma. They said the tornado was coming in, and they prayed, and it went around them. I've seen this happen at baptisms before, years ago in Saskatchewan. They're going to cancel the baptism. I said, well, why don't we pray about it? The sun came out, we had the baptism, and after we're done, it started raining. Like, what? He wants us to do this. He calmed the storm. He did things. And yet the pastor, he tries to portray he's some sort of guru, prophesies over a woman he's going to have a girl or a boy or something. 50-50 chance, and he gets it wrong. Like, unbelievable.
In the Bible is one by Enoch. What's strange about it is it's about the second coming of Christ.
See, he even mentions the book of Enoch. Wow. No, Enoch did not become the Son of Man. A friend of mine got into this. He doesn't want to try the new hearing aids. Why? He's listed as handicapped with city here. Gets hired on every summer. He was a little concerned when he damaged another vehicle. They didn't even fire him. He's listed as handicapped. Gets unemployed insurance every winter. Not a problem. My wife doesn't like it when I pretend I'm handicapped. See? I can do it real well. Yeah. Lose another set of dentures and on and on. So, hey, you want to see my mugshot? You don't need to look at my mugshot all the time. Here I am, though. Here we go. The Toothless Wonder. Another guy has more whiskers. He thinks that he's already sanctified. Really. I am handicapped. I can't talk very well. I can't hear. My lights burn. Okay. So then I get a free coffee and put in the chest with the guy. I don't think he's as handicapped as he portrays either. But they get help when they pretend they're handicapped. Yeah, we all got a handicap. What do we do with it? Keep on pretending we're the guru? See, we can go on and on. Chuck Messler, sorry. He's more apt to be caught up now, too, because the ones that are dead. Us that are alive, we better come out of our lukewarmness. The warnings are there. Many are called, but few are chosen. Hey, then we're going to have to... Then we will see Elijah coming. What do you think he comes? See? They want to teach that Elijah comes first. And he comes, after. Because most people won't believe. They'll think UFO or something took a few. Most of them are from the dead. The last 1997 years. We're not yet 2,000 years from his death and resurrection when he become the second Adam. Sorry, Mormons maybe do have an odd thing correct. Then they spin their own doctrines around it. Can you not see this? This is how deception works. No such a thing as a half a truth. Hath God really said this? It's the same thing. The question, only Jesus that came from heaven went to heaven. John 3:13. Hey, it's in the Bible. I said to the guy, yeah, but Elijah didn't come from heaven, so it doesn't apply to him. But see, in their mind, still got my mugshot on. You don't need me. Back to here. Okay? Scrolling around here a little bit today. We got 38 minutes now. I get cut off on time and I'll be talking away and it's run out of time or something. I don't know. 7 feasts of the Lord. Hey, I used to like this guy here. Reminds me of my son in Saskatchewan that's with CPKC. Okay.
Do you want to learn the trading
Oh
strategy?
yeah, all this advertisement.
Over the last 30 years?
Well, with TV, we used to go up and get something or go to the washroom or something because tune it out. Now we just tune it out on talking to everybody on the transit or whatever. Just tune it out. Most people are just tuned out.
He was then buried on the Feast of Unleavened Bread and resurrected on the Feast of First Fruits. 50 days later, the Holy Spirit was given on Pentecost. Now, Jesus has already fulfilled these 4 feasts in meaningful ways according to the purpose of the feast.
That's
Yet
good.
There are still 3 feasts that Jesus has yet to
There he's talking about it.
will fulfill in his second coming. The Feast of Trumpets, the Day of Atonement, and the Feast of Tabernacles.
Very good.
So the question is, what clues do these 3 later feasts give us about Jesus' second coming?
There, stop there. See, right there. Jesus' second coming. No, he stated, I'm coming again. We fall into this trap. He didn't come just once. He's come every 1,000 years. Okay, he was the rock that came forth with living water. Peter was the pebble. Okay? He came every 1,000 years. Psalms 90. So this business with second coming, this is what I show. Yeah, I got 2 different socks on today. I couldn't find the one. Okay, so I just threw on another one. Last night I had a shower to try to get to sleep. Okay. Got 2 feet? Some people lose a foot. Hey, we can use you to harvest in a wheelchair. Robotic. Maybe make the other ones robotic. You monitor the other ones. You can be in the wheelchair cutting mushrooms or strawberries. Okay. You got a good head on your shoulders. Use it. Okay. 2 feet. No. It doesn't fit into one shoe very well. So as soon as we make the statement, second coming, what have we really said? Well, we know some people don't want to admit that. One guy is talking, he says, I didn't really believe he died. I said, he was run through with a Roman spear and didn't die. Like, let's deal with it.
Explain God's purpose for humanity and provide clues to recognize the Savior, Jesus Christ.
This is good. Guy had lots of short little ones. I did some short ones the other day. Maybe I don't know. I have to find out. Should look that up on Google. Maybe it'll tell me how many minutes I can go on it. I did a couple short ones and threw it out. I think they went up. I don't know. Build the flap engine, new rotary design. Okay. Here we go. This is how I go. I'll spend an hour or 2 on this. Yeah, I've got some ideas how to build a rotary vane engine. I've studied it some. Yeah, I play around with lots of stuff like that. Opposed piston engines, everything else. Hey, I can spend all day chasing some of this stuff around, trying to get other people to do it. The guy with the trucking company, his dad's not around anymore. I can make a derogatory statement about his background, but his dad wouldn't spend a nickel. Okay? Yeah, I seen it. So I kind of, oh, well, enough for that. And then I found out his dad's not around anymore. Now who's trying to run the show? Well, the other day, he really annoyed me. I thought he was in town. Phone back. No, he's out at High River. No, I find out the next day he's already in Winnipeg. Okay, whose voice did I hear on the phone? Pretty sure it was a receptionist. And the accountant, he's looking in the office there, looking out the little window. Yeah. Who was it that had me fired? Yeah, he was the one that probably told his dad. Tell his son. And the son fired me. Now I have lunch with him. I saw him in a restaurant one day. He didn't go in for the buffet. I checked out the buffet. It wasn't. And so I'm walking by in a hotel, and he waves me over. He says, I said to him, it's water under the bridge. He asked me how's things with the Filipino wife now. I said, like a roller coaster. What else is new? Yeah, you got one wife at a time, you got enough trouble. Jacob had 2. And Jacob's trouble? Yeah, he was 77. Hey, guys. The Filipino lady down in Texas, she didn't care. Those 50 years difference. There's probably going to be a battle over that estate. She's got a couple of kids from 50 years difference. Hey, my dad was old enough to be my grandfather. Outlived my mother. There's no guarantees. People are just so, they're both adults. Knock it off. It's not our concern. Okay? People are going to talk anyway. Yeah, my uncle told me it was quite the conversation piece. My dad had a wife. Mom, as an immigrant. Maybe that's why my dad says, don't marry for money, but don't go where there's none. So what did I go do? Oh, well, Knew her as a teen. Da, 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 da. My parents thought she was a real cat's meow. You know. My mom didn't like some of the other girls around. Oh, they liked that one. Oops, that was not it. Really.
We recognize that Jesus.
When the money was gone, she was gone. Do you get the drift? Or is this Canadian after snow again? Hey, lots of... Our weather's a joke. I mean, it's only June. It might snow again. You know, this is how it works. It's only June. Hopefully we're into summer now. Summer weather. Only town to... how cool last night. 8 degrees or something in Alberta here. The evenings cool off in Alberta, so they don't... Mornings are a little bit cooler. Saskatchewan can stay hot more. Manitoba's with the lakes are more hot and humid. Okay. Eastern Saskatchewan tends to get more rain because of that too. Western Saskatchewan can be more dry, more desert-like. Okay. So, and, you know, what is it, 9... This clock still running? Yes, I have to keep checking that. Feast of Tabernacles. Hey, there's one. Do you know what the Feast of Tabernacles is? Well, that's in the Old Testament. We don't have to know that. Are you sure? I thought it was the same gospel for the Jew and the Gentile. See, what are they teaching? Hey, the Nigerian guy, we got into something he liked. He was questioning because they don't use that as a tax deduction in Nigeria, I guess, either. Okay? Want to read it? Don't want to read the Old Testament. Huh? But they sure like Malachi chapter 3, bring the whole tithe. Yeah, what does the rest of... Read the entire chapter. Okay? Zechariah 14. There's no resurrection from not all. We covered that. Zechariah 6, we're right there. Well, let's go to there for a minute. You see how I go? This is how I am. I go rabbit trail. Pastor doesn't want to go there. His notes don't go there. I go down the rabbit trail. I find the rabbit hole. I dig until I find what's there. You're not going to find the pearls on the top. It's at the bottom. The nuggets of gold. Okay? Here, Zechariah chapter 6. The branch. The branch. Who's the branch? He builds. I believe it should be capitalized. He shall be upon his throne after he comes. Why? Well, read it. Zechariah 14. There's no resurrection from the not all super Mr. Rich Jew. Okay? Sorry, you're not buying your way in his kingdom. Go sell what you have. Give to the poor. Help the poor. Don't abuse them. Earthquake on the Mount of Olives, okay? But it says, all the saints with thee. Well, see the Feast of Tabernacles. That's where I got this one. But we think, well, that's not relevant anymore. Really? When the teacher put something on the whiteboard or whatever and underlined it 3 times, mentioned it, take note. It's on the exam. 3 times he mentions Feast of Tabernacles. But what are we teaching? And in Hebrew, it's Canaanite. I think the Adventists have a little teaching about Cain and Abel. What really happened? Hey, I differ with them on lots of things. They don't want to give up Christmas and Easter, and then they think they're Sabbath keeping. No, you're legalistic Saturday keeping. You're not Sabbath keeping. There's no sheep in the high country of Israel in December. Do you get the drift? And it's not trader merchant like your other versions. So enough with this. It's Canaanite. But we like the other versions. You like to have your ears tickled. That's what the problem is. You think you can have your cake and eat it too. William Booth. The other day, some of the Salvation Army people were there. The one guy, he told me they don't even promote baptism. So I asked him, you got your little emblem there going around with your government programs. Yeah, how much compromise? Who was William Booth? Oh, the guy in Lethbridge taught it. He was a Jewish guy that became a believer in Jesus, Yeshua, Messianic Jew. They blocked it all out. Think he didn't believe in baptism of adults? You can go around their programs and they don't promote anything. What are they doing? Well, they have to line into the government way of doing things because they're getting government funding. Do you see the constant compromise? Okay, I was going to go to Malachi. Nigerian guy brought it up. He kind of avoids the topic of Sabbath and stuff, but he's still Sunday keeping. Okay? There's 2 Sabbaths there. I tried to explain that to him. But we got into the tithe business. Most pastors will hit the ceiling. The guy in Lethbridge, he hit the roof right in a public restaurant. No. I said, can't we even discuss it? No. But see, oppress the hireling. This is Malachi chapter 3. Hey, you oppress the hireling. You don't pay them their due work. One guy said yesterday, guy expects him to work all day for $20. I knew people, Adventists, were doing this too. Did I get paid? Good luck. Oppress the hireling in his wages, and the widow and the fatherless, that turn aside the stranger from his right, and fear not me. Do you really fear the Lord? Then stop bringing what was taken by force and deceitfulness to your religious place for your tax deduction. But what do they teach? You are cursed with a curse. You have robbed me, even this whole nation. Do we pay the person that told us? Abraham paid to Melchizedek after he did what he was told, and paid back to the one that told them. But what are they doing? Ezekiel 34 covers it. They feed upon the sheep and not fed the sheep. Hey, they might be feeding a little bit of milk. Fine. If you believe they're actually helping somebody else, that's a free will offering. But the one that actually gave you some directions how to fix something, how to do something. My wife gave the Filipino lady back when she had her first paycheck. Okay, should we continue to pay back to the one? Hey, maybe. It's debatable. Okay? I'm curious about this flap engine. Sorry. My curiosity gets the best of me sometimes, too. Yeah. I really have to watch things. What's behind some of those closed doors with a little sign on it? Flashing neon sign. A guy couldn't even go by the casino. He's sweating. He died in his car. Lost his airplane and everything. How do you get hooked on gambling? By winning. Yeah. They let an odd person win, especially when they know they have a great big line of credit from the bank. The guy lost $200,000 or $300,000. He's my age. He's going back having to drive transit bus. Got beat up. Going home. Yeah, after work, late at night. Put him in the hospital. A couple broken ribs. Oh yeah, fun time, huh? They have fun time traveling around the world. Come back from a Caribbean cruise. I was kind of shocked the other day. Mark Blitz, kind of like his son. I find out he's going to Israel in the fall with some other guy. Oh yeah, maybe he got invited. Maybe he's what, the other guy's paying his, I don't know. But I never got to talk to these people directly. There's my number. Am I hiding? No, Calgary, Alberta. 4 months left. Ravi Zachariah. Oh no, he's the one that went off to Thailand with without his wife. Like, why would his wife let him do that? Like, David was wrong. What did he see? And don't think. And yeah, takes two to tangle. Never saw anybody bathing on top of any rooftop there in Israel. You see the little solar panels in the water. No. So don't even think totally Bathsheba was totally innocent. Okay. There was problems already with the marriage. Did she have any kids? I don't think so. Oh, see, using air. Yeah, well, as soon as they put in combustion, it doesn't work. Yeah, that's what it is. Here's another rotary vane. Okay. Hey, Mr. Machine Shop, you want to work with me? I think I got something figured out here, and maybe I'll just use little Dremels. The one lady's working with robotic stuff. You can put maybe how many Dremels on a hand done by the robot. Yeah, we can use them to pick mushrooms, everything. Hey, there's lots of things we can do. Think you're going to be hanging on a rope servicing these big windmills? No. That's what they're teaching at these schools. They're getting government money. I'll tell you right now, it's going to be a big drone with a robot hung on the bottom to service the big windmills. You're not going to have people hanging on a rope. So learn how to operate the drone. I talked to a guy yesterday. I was hoping to see him. I got a hot dog outside, busy inside. Oh, well, finally got on the train to go home. Train is packed full. So I got up early, cooled off. It was getting hot and stuffy. So I got off. Caught a few trains later. Okay. 7 surprising facts about Jesus. Oh. Hey, I can spend all day here. There's Jacob's rapture and dream. How many hours ago was that? He's very, he used to teach music, so now he's wanting donations for this. I guess I'm fortunate enough to have I used to call it just in time for trouble. Hint, hint. Now I'm marked in already. Mr. Mark Carney. Yeah. All kinds of election problems going through counts on everything in Canada. Hey, it only happens in these other countries. Really? Like, wake up. Okay. Not in Canada, huh? Really? Air motors preventative maintenance. Okay, yeah. There's Canada's 14 trillion opportunity. He's online. Do you actually believe what he says? Maybe I should go through this. I think the guy's criticizing his pop-up ads about making money. We don't like mainstream media. The native fellow says, if the Chiefs in Quebec want to go along with it, that's their choice. I'm a Louis Riel man. The Nigerian guy didn't know how come the present government in Alberta doesn't come out. Well, hey, she could be charged with high treason and be hung like they hung Louis Riel in 1880 for high treason. I think Quebec actually set a precedent. You have to go through the preliminary, have a referendum first, and then that election. Otherwise, you're leading a rebellion. Ooh. Not good. Not good in Canada doesn't mean the person's alive anymore when you say that. Not good. The Nigerian lady didn't know. Yeah, she's pretty good in English, but she didn't know what that meant. See? So we all have different... They rest every Saturday. I don't know. I think this kind of Adventist teaching, huh? I don't know. Maybe. Do the birds and stuff rest? I don't know. You tell me, Mr. Birdwatcher. I don't know. Call me. Here's my number. How many times we got? We got over an hour here now. An hour done. Maybe it's time to shut her down. People get bored of this. Hey. The land will mourn every family part. We got troubles. Feed the flock. Okay? See? Peter is told to feed the sheep. What are they doing? Or they're feeding upon the sheep. Just milk. Hebrews 5 B, the last part. Ought to be teachers that don't know what the elementary oracles of God are. Well, it says who holds that. That's the Jew. The commandments, ordinances, and statutes of God. But the one chaplain fella going every day through their Lutheran study, and the next day, well, I said, what happened to chapter 66? Oh, there's only 65. I said, get your Bible off your shelf. He through seminary, he didn't know there was another whole chapter. Like, what are they teaching? Oh, we don't like chapter 66. So we don't take it out of our study. Mr. Seventh-day Adventist, want to read your quarterly studies all the time? What? You think they're not leading you down their way of thinking? There's time frames, 3 years and 6 months, and he prayed again. Yeah, 3.5 years. What's the date we have? 1990. 7 years from, no, 2027, see, is from his birth. Hey, that's how you get Jehovah's Witness out of it. The kids will take them out. They want to have a birthday. That's Greek, leaving the mother. Teach them about Hanukkah. Yeah, the conception. I'm already 70 from my conception. My birthday on my driver's license is in December. Well, how many months away is that? So, hey, from my conception, I'm already 7-0. Covetous. And through covetousness, see, covetous, with vain words and merchandise of you. So who is he talking to? He's talking about the teachers. Okay? They're living a nice, comfortable lifestyle. A guy from Nigeria, the other guy was teaching that we're not under the Levitical law. Well, that's kind of the Sunday keepers tend to teach that. Okay? John the Baptist, by his lineage of his father, should have been a high priest. But no, don't go to this dispensation idea that now somehow the Old Testament's done away with. Okay, hello. One day as the Lord is 1,000 years. There it is. And Psalms 90 talks about it too. For if they escape the pollutions of the world, entangled again. See, we get tangled again because we're mortals. So get baptized again. Not just once or twice. How many times did Solomon have? Hey, the Lord confirmed it to me. Hey, if I'm wrong, he's able to correct me. But no, he turned around and confirmed it to me while I was getting changed. As he says, what? Philip did not have to go back to Jerusalem, ask the others if he should do this. No, he just did it. How did the Ethiopian eunuch even know about baptism? They maybe weren't even discussing baptism. He sees water. He says, "Why cannot I be baptized?" He already knew it. He was reading other scriptures. They did it. Philip didn't ask him, "Are you not baptized already once?" No, they just did it. And after he did it, now it's the Holy Spirit that came on Jesus. He's our example. No, it's not our salvation. The guy on the cross didn't have the opportunity. But no, he didn't beat Jesus to heaven. Jesus was 3 days and 3 nights in the grave. The guy had to be resurrected. And that happened only 3 days, full 3 days and full 3 nights on the day called first fruits. Not Friday, part of the day and part of the night with sun resurrection day. No, that's very, very debatable. And when we step out in truth, then we shall know the doctrine, whether it be from God or from man. It's in the scriptures. He's able to correct me if I was wrong, but he confirmed it to me. The other day at the soup kitchen, yeah, the battery's charged up. If you don't notice, we need our battery charged up sometimes. Huh? You can only boost another vehicle so many times without charging your own battery. Okay? Mr. Pentecostal. You think you can lay hands on and pass the Holy Spirit onto him when your battery's dead? It ain't gonna do nothing. I've been around this stuff. And just because you got healed as a kid doesn't mean you're immortal now. Doesn't mean you're perfect. But no, Lazarus didn't die again. He was resurrected. He became immortal, and he was youthful again. That's why they didn't recognize Jesus on the garden road until he spoke. You can use voice print in the courtroom. That's why I recognized the lady's voice that told me, "Oh, no, he's just in High River." No. Next day I go, "Oh, no, he's in Winnipeg already." Pardon? When did he leave? Well, no, he was gone yesterday already. So who told me he would be in the afternoon? And I didn't get a phone call, so I phoned him half hour later. And no, he's supposedly, no. So who told me this stuff? Sure sounded like her voice. And the accountant's peeking at the window at me. Like, he doesn't want me around. I sense that. Why? Who's running the show when he's gone? See, the accountants think, and just like at the Hebrew group in town here, the receptionist, she's running the little farm. It was his dad's farm. She's running the show. Yeah. The pastor? Rabbi guy? He's like a reed blowing in the wind. Goes off, denies it. He was an ecumenical function with he was online saying this. Lying through his teeth. Deny. Who runs the show? His wife does. Oh, come on. His own son admitted at the anniversary that the mother runs the show. That's the big arguments we have with my wife here. No, she doesn't want to sell the house in the Philippines, and we're broke. What? Her mother's in New York complaining that we're not helping the little brother enough in the Philippines. Well, sell the house. It's her house. We make jokes about this. Yeah, my sons would have lost big time. The lawyers would have won. I make jokes about it. The ex-wife was a good housekeeper. Do you know the rest of the joke? She kept the house. My ex-brother-in-law, he knew what went down. I talked to him at weddings and stuff. It's like water under the bridge. Carry on. If it's yellow in Australia, let it mellow. If it's brown, flush it down. What are we doing? We're living in the past. Yeah. Pentecost happened. We're living in the past. Go on. Go forward. There's my number. Okay? I put it out there. Mr. Ravi Singer. It's called the Rabbi Guy. Oh, he knows how to discredit Paul in the New Testament. Okay, let's go to something here. Isaiah 29, huh? What's it say, Mr. Ravi Singer? You want to call me and debate me? Let's have a live debate here. Ariel. Isaiah 29. Ariel. Who's Ariel? I studied this a little bit with a guy. Actually looked it up on his phone because I mentioned this. Sleeps a deep sleep. The Nigerian guy. He was kind of interested in this. Yeah, who was that? Well, I had to ask. I thought Ariel Sharon had died. Yeah. No, he was in a coma for 8 years. 8 is a number of new beginnings. Oh, yeah, well, that's traditional Hebrew stuff. That's not in the Bible. Really? What's Revelation 21? New heaven and new earth. That is the 8th event. How many candles on the monarch? 7. Eyes to see. The Swiss Guard was at the Vatican at the Pope's funeral. Why? Well, because Revelation 13 happened. See? We can go back and forth, back and forth. Okay? What happened? Blood of the Lamb and testimony. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. I got it written down here. Napoleon took 2 popes. General Berthier under Napoleon took the first one captive. The first one died in prison in France. So they elected another one. They did it again. Okay? Yeah. Deadly wound. I'd say that was a deadly wound to the Vatican. Mussolini gave the property back to the Vatican. Okay? This is history. And Biden kissed the signet ring of the first Jesuit Pope. Like, this is being fulfilled. This receive a mark. Okay? Hey, how much can we really do without our social insurance number and everything else? Worship the image. Now we got the beast in the image. Big computer years ago in Belgium was called the beast. Now we have AI, the beast in its image. But I saw that the Swiss Guard at the Vatican. Well, maybe that was an hologram too. I rather doubt it. But this happened. Now we have the first Trump. Whoa. Is that a play on the word or what? Hint, hint. And the first Pope from Chicago. Oh boy. The Adventists are kind of sounding alarm bells on that one, huh? 4 months left to the Trumpets. Yeah, well then we're coming to the end of the 2,000 years. And most people won't believe. They'll think a UFO took a few people away. I went to the graveyard one time with a Nigerian lady driving around. No, I don't see any open tombs, okay? Things are going to happen. I got this kind of wet here or something. Water spilled? Yeah, maybe. Okay. Hour and 13. See, I try to keep it under an hour and a half. I don't know how long I can even put one out here for. I don't know all this stuff. Because this is not a professional YouTube, if you haven't noticed. The guy wants to make a professional more. It portrays that he has a congregation. Unbelievable. Then he uses a U.S. address for the donations. Why? Follow the money. And he's not a poor guy from Guyana. He has an airline and everything. Okay? Where do these get the rental houses? Did he upgrade his houses? Oh, all my houses up to fire code. Hey, Yakima, Washington raised the bar. Photoelectric will go off 30 minutes sooner. Norway made it mandatory something like 3 years ago already. Go home and check your smoke alarm. And no, carbon monoxide deans down to your ankle. I told Scott Burns this, and they have 12 plants in Colorado now. Canadian company here in concrete. He learned how to take the company public. And you can go to university here for business degree, and they don't teach diddly squat here. I talked to another guy, used to with the one bank. He knew full well that they came after Alberta Bank here, ATB, Alberta Treasury Branch. Get some history. They were ready to march on Alberta in the 1930s, but the war broke out in Europe over what they were doing with the Treasury Branch. Oh, yeah. So free? We're not so free. Okay. Interesting things happening around the world. Yeah. Pillars of smoke. Volcanoes are going off. Happens to, we got information coming out of our ears, but what is actually the truth? 4 months left. September 23rd. Hey. Me thinks this is very important. You want to listen to whatever these other people pump out? And I'm telling you right now, people are going to be scoffing and mocking big time. Guy in Lethbridge says he's still mid-trib. Good. The other ones have gone over to the resurrection from the Mount Olives. No, there's not. Mr. Super Rich, buried there. Think you're going to buy your way into his kingdom.
In which he built what is called...
Okay. By his shed blood. Not all of Israel is Israel. Do you hear what he's saying, Mr. Texas guru? All of Israel. Here, this guy's here talking about the financial crisis in Canada.
With RBC Economics telling investors that there's no near-term recovery, and people need to stop being brain dead about it and realize the status quo is what destroyed and continues to destroy the middle class in Canada, yet...
Yeah. So much for your secure investments. 4 months left. Okay. Am I harping on it? Yeah, I guess so. I'm not a music teacher. I took some trumpet lessons. My dad wasn't too impressed, I don't think. I traded my trumpet off for a motorcycle. Oops. Yeah.
Some
Okay. A guy went to concrete show. He's in hospice now. I didn't realize he was quite as old. Big, tall, lanky guy. Had trouble sleeping in the car, so we got a motel room. I was at the concrete show in Vegas. Nah, they don't have a little buffet in Idaho anymore. The trucks don't have time to stop. They're taking the complete enjoyment away. Used to be more of we called ourselves professional tourists. We make jokes about this. The tire guy never found any problem in the tire. Well, yeah, I needed. They know full well what was going on. Stuck down in Arizona, and the one guy told him, "You can come and get your truck. I'm already in Arizona." He stayed there all winter. Had a new girlfriend. Why was he wanting to go back to Canada for? For what? One guy had to fly back home for his own wedding. These trucking companies, they don't get it. These office people, the accountant thinks he's running the show when the guy's gone. Really? I'll have a word with him sometime. We kind of chuckle about this. He fired me one time. Now he knows why. He says, I asked him, was I burning more fuel than other trucks? He says, no, you're using less fuel. How are you doing that? They were keeping tabs on me big time. Okay, who was doing that? Hey, the accountant is a good little accountant. He kept track of the miles and the fuel and everything else. I know some trucks a little bit out of line, but they didn't give me credit for burning less fuel. So we discussed their hydrogen unit made south here. I says, yeah, the driver told me it was working. He could save 20 minutes into Langley, BC, over the mountains. Pull the big Rogers Pass here over the hill, they call it. That's not the better freight route from, okay, it's up through Edmonton. That's why Edmonton became the capital. Okay, Rogers Pass, that was political, pushing CP rail through here to keep the Americans from moving up as much. That was politics. Okay, great big hill here. They had to put in the double spiral tunnels. Yeah, you know how much troubles they have on that hill? Yeah, lots. Okay, it was political. Lots of this stuff. But no, I was using less fuel. How? And I told them the hydrogen unit was working, but pretty hard to get both power and fuel economy at the same time. And his dad didn't see enough to warrant the price of the unit. So no, we don't want to play around with it. He didn't want to play around with another item. It was too much money. I made a mistake. I told them the price. I says, well, these little computers do how much work now? It's not the size of the unit. He wasn't interested in anything. Yeah, 80-some years old would tell the son, no, I'll go buy a bunch of extension cords. And we don't want to lease a bay in the next shop that's empty now when Thermo King moved out. Company in Winnipeg, I found out why they had some battery troubles. They skimped out on the batteries. See, the truck only had 3, so they put in a 4th battery in. Well, 4 times nothing is nothing. How much power is in the wintertime? They had troubles. Well, what were they putting in? A super high capacitor. But that was more money, so they didn't want to spend that. So they nickel and dimed and then complained to the company it doesn't work. This is how it works. They don't maintain something and then they complain to the company. Hey, and Trump knows it. Canadian companies. The one in Yorkton, Saskatchewan got taken over by East Indians now. Oh yeah, where's the parts all going to be made? Well, I know for a fact that the frame is already made at the Hutterite colony, maybe with a 14-year-old kid doing the welding, with no WCB or nothing. Okay, they're not paying big leases in a city or nothing. Okay, nah, do it on a farm. Okay, East Indians will like that idea too, and you know, label made in Canada. The big concrete pump, Vancouver. It's Chinese parts, reverse engineering of Putzmaster, made in China, assembled in Canada on a Mexican truck frame, made in Canada. Yeah, really. Okay, how much do we really ever make here? Okay, we export stuff. Okay, especially Western Canada. We don't even make an engine here. During the war years, they had a GM plant in Regina, Saskatchewan. It was all closed down later on. Okay. They needed more vehicles pumped out. Okay. In Western Canada were the frontline soldiers. Something like Siberia. There's not Russian soldiers on the front. And how come you're involved with the Ukraine war? Who owns the big 100,000-acre farms around the New York Stock Exchange? Follow the money. Okay? And these gurus running around, something like our politicians. I just got back here from Ottawa, went to see the king. The guy was probably wondering, how does he know that? Well, I just happened to talk to the guy from the little town, a tourist town more. He was interested. He told me he's in Ottawa. So when I see the guy at City Hall, he was getting an early break. He's walking by. I says, hey, did you go to Ottawa? Yeah. He's kind of like, oh, how does he know that? I laugh about this stuff. God knows what we need to know. Are we listening? Do we really have eyes to see and ears to hear? 7. 7 is a number of completion. 8 is a new beginning. I watched the Russian stuff. Why? My mother was from there. I told people the drones are going to play a big part in that war. Yeah, the farmers already had them. Okay. One guy out here thought Russia would just march across there. That's what Putin thought too. He had very bad information, didn't he, from his generals? Hey, and that one time a U.S. admiral said, a plane will never sink a ship. What happened at Pearl Harbor? But don't tell me they didn't know the Japanese were coming. That's why the big air carriers were already out. Okay, my wife was looking at it, fighting in the Philippine War. Okay, yeah. But I saw the museum piece, the capsule. Wonder how they even got into the little thing. And the rumor in Ukraine was that the dog could come back from the radiation belt. Hey, my grandmother questioned it. I knew enough. Well, I said, well, what was grandma talking about? Well, she didn't believe this going to the moon business. Yeah, well, I questioned it my entire life. Okay. Is it wrong to question things? Truth will stand on its own. It doesn't need justification about who said it. God is truth and truth is God. It wasn't a bird that came on Jesus. It was the Holy Spirit. Get baptized. Get dunked again. Okay? He confirmed it to me after I did it. Hey, I had a few doubts. Maybe people... But if we let the fear control us, you can always find some excuse why not to do something. That's what accountants are good at. Finding reasons why not to do something. Oh, well, we didn't fly before, did we? So if God would have meant us fly, he would have gave us wings. No, he gave us a brain to figure it out. Okay? But see how they think? Well, I never seen anybody fly before. Well, maybe you need to believe a little bit. More fires happening in Toronto now. Why? We've made jokes for years. Fire insurance causes lots of fires. We knew full well. Sons had already left. The old man wasn't interested in feeding pigs anymore. Okay? Got into other crops or whatever. Don't need the pig barn. What are you going to do? All of a sudden the pig barn burns down. Mushroom plant up here. There's a court case over it. And there's more Toronto. Yeah, they came in with 80 and 90-year mortgages a few years ago. A banker from Toronto confirmed it to me. The bankers here were denying it, but I think the one knew. And I think he moved to the small town. Going to cost less to work in the small town. Probably get paid as much out there an hour outside of Calgary. Why? 60% less. I don't know. But 5%, it doesn't sound much. Real estate people say, oh, it's not a problem. 5% over 6 months is what? 30%? I don't know. Over a year? 60%? Hey. Wonder why they're torching the big house. Try to get, there'll be a court case later on, but hey, if they got some money, yeah, good luck. They're back in another country. Smoke from Canada's wildfires. Well, why is it dry up north again? The Mexican volcano went off. Yeah, the truck driver wasn't even told this flight was canceled the other year. Is it flooding in Cuba and Caribbean again? Well, it's dry up north? Maybe. But they found magnifying glasses at the fires too. I happen to believe that. You know why? The wild mushroom grow a year or two after the fires and the prices are good. It's called create employment. California had how many fires? They finally arrested one guy in the one county. Next year they only had one fire and said it's 20-some fires. Hey, But our federal police force didn't find any more arson. Really? They're under a provincial review. City police in Calgary here too. Wildfires prompt evacuations in Alberta and Saskatchewan. There we go. Only June. We're off to a good start, aren't we? CBC News. Oh, hey, that must be accurate. It's government funding. We nicknamed it Communist Broadcasting when I was a kid. It hasn't got better. It's got worse. You used to only have one channel. Oh, we actually got two. My cousins in the valley, they only had one channel. CBC. Why? There's a big microwave tower on top of the tower, and they could see it from the house. Okay, all right. Canada's economy is crashing. Bank of Canada. I think my stepson is kind of glad he sold his townhouse. He did a mistake. He left it in a Canadian bank while the dollar crashed. But now, they don't even know. The plane crashed. He didn't even know it. I saw the water tower. He said the next day, yeah, they're fixing the power line on the other side. And hey, a little bit to that plane crash. I had to look it up. The weather beacon wasn't working, and the weather beacon is what sends out the altimeter reading. And it was foggy, and the plane was too low. It hit the power line. Okay. Yeah, maybe they're overtired. Maybe different things, problems. Okay. Often it's not one single problem. But why has the guy got his own little double-engine plane, front and rear? It's safer than side-by-side engines. Hey, should put an electric motor behind that prop, but you know how much... They can't even probably get cameras on the plane at Washington, D.C. Traffic, but they didn't know where the helicopter was. Okay. Hey, how come a Canadian plane rescued American off Antarctica in the middle of the winter? Why the Canadian company? You think the Americans didn't know that there was equipment on that plane for cold weather? That's how the guy built the company, Boric Air. I asked the daughter at the oil show. I was kind of suspicious. So I tend to go down these garden paths, these rabbit trails, and I dig. This is what I do. Pastors are too busy playing what? Take note of what they drive. Next time you got a little bit of time on your hands, Mr. Watchman River. Okay? Nice scenic route. Go park by the golf course, and you might be surprised why the pastor doesn't have enough time to meet with you. Hey, they're golfing with who? We made jokes about this. The Protestant pastor, the Catholic priest, now they call themselves pastor, and it's no longer the parish, and clergy in Alberta here, I don't know, other places can wear the white collar. Oh, what's happening here? Okay. Got a Catholic Pope now from Chicago. Woo. But they got time to be at the golf course. Maybe golfing with their other ecumenical friends, the Jewish rabbi. We make jokes about this. Hey, did they go? Maybe that's where the joke came from. Huh? Maybe they were actually out fishing together. Got no time to see somebody trivial. You're just a sheep. Okay? They discuss how to fleece the sheep or what? Is that what they're discussing at conferences? Ask them what they discussed at the conference. They don't want to tell you what they discussed at the conference. Why? You know, nice river scene. Maybe go down to get baptized at the river. Get down there and get baptized again. There's an idea.
Two more. Deuteronomy.
Get in that water. Okay?
Based platform, ensuring that users can
Mr.
verify
Pre-Tribber, I'm sorry that you're having some legal problems. And the Lord provided. legal assistance in the same town. Yeah, I watch your YouTube once in a while. Okay. The coming AI crime wave. Hey, make jokes about El Salvador got rid of half their drug cartel. You know why they can't get rid of the other half? The government just got rid of their competition. Another half. Who's the other half? BC better get their act together. They did put the American forces into Mexico. Are they about to do that in Canada? Maybe. Oh. Guy says, well, part of the problem, they want the drugs. Yeah, but that doesn't mean you just turn the tap on full stream, does it? Okay, so, that's what they did in Canada. And that Justin Trudeau, my stepson paid for his Porsche car. I said, you make sure which one the government's boys are putting their money into. The other ones are closed up down here. The heating cost is killing them. Razor wire, I think they went to East Coast. My cousin heard they're from the East Coast. There's geothermal heating under Moncton, New Brunswick. Yeah, I checked this stuff out. Why? Maybe I should go there. But 4 months left to feast. There's my number again. Yeah, I keep putting it out. Am I swamped with calls? No, I'm not. Monday to Friday. Weekends. Office hours from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Friend texts me at 5:30 in the morning. Okay. Then he calls me later. Then he pumps me for information. He wants to maybe go motorcycling with his friends. Doesn't play chess with the other guy anymore. He was annoyed at him. Guy got scared of the bears. Just saw a sign. Never even saw any bears. Will he rent me the gold detection equipment? No. People have good memories when they owe them money. They seem to have dementia when and give a donation. So now I don't have to make restitution to somebody else. How many times did the guy say, if I've wronged anybody, let me correct it? How many times over? Okay. But no. It's all under the blood now. It's all good. Really? You bring what was taken to his house, he will not bless this. Why are some people delivered through problems? Other people die. The preacher says, we don't know. Well, maybe because Peter got out of the water, maybe that's why the angel was sent to free him. But did you want to even teach this and get in the water? Hey. Dangerous doctrines. This lady here, she's kind of interesting. Why? She comes out of this Wicca stuff. I think she knows what she's talking about a little bit. She's aware of it. She's come out of it. And most people, it's just like they put a nice Jesus told me title on it. Mel Gibson drops big news on the resurrection of Christ. Okay, he's finally realized Romanism got some real problems there. Yeah, he got heat over different years. Hey, God is trying to wake us up. Well, what are we listening to? Hey, my people are called by my name, Chronicles. Humble ourselves. Self-esteem. That's the word, pride. And turn from our wicked ways. We think we're so good and proper. Oh my goodness. And then we criticize others. They have a little different viewpoint or whatever. We're afraid to discuss it. Why? What are we afraid of? We're afraid to get in the water? We might make a mistake? I don't think so. The Lord confirmed it to me. Get in the water. Got the river right behind you. Okay. Hour and 39 minutes. There. Cut her down. Shut her down. Okay. Have a good day. I've got other things to do too. Okay. Maybe get a whiteboard today so we have some. There's a map of Israel up there. Armutza. Okay. Canada, The globe, no, it's not totally round, but don't go to that extreme. Flat earther, that's in the book of Enoch, okay? Enough of the nonsense, okay? Maybe that's why it wasn't included in the chronicle. Whatever you pronounce it. A truck is a lorry in England, okay? Get over the terminology. Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. I can't help it if it might be Latin Trinity. Mr. Adventist, you want to strain at gnats and ignore covetousness? Like what? Okay, I'm going to shut it down. Have a good day. Bye-bye.